First of all, it pays off in the metabolic sense and in the health sense and in the weight maintenance or loss sense to not ingest any food in the first hour after waking, and potentially for longer. So I want to repeat that. One of the key pillars of intermittent fasting is that for the first hour after you wake up, and potentially for longer, to not ingest any food. Okay? The second major pillar that's well supported by research is that for the 2 and ideally 3 hours prior to bedtime, you also don't ingest any food or liquid calories for that matter. And we will talk about what it means to break a fast and whether or not certain liquids, even coffee and tea, can break a fast, et cetera, in a few moments. But just as a foundation, it's very clear from the research in humans that not eating any food or ingesting any calories, liquid or otherwise, for the first 60 minutes after waking up each day and for the 2 to 3 hours prior to your bedtime, that's ideal for the parameters that we've discussed earlier, all the different things like weight and liver health and metabolic health and so forth. The two most common questions about intermittent fasting are, when is the ideal time for the eating window? Is it early in the day, the middle of the day, or later in the day? And how long should that eating window be? Should it be 8 hours? We already heard why the 8-hour window was first established. It was because of these lab conditions and the conditions of the particular relationship of the graduate student involved. Or should it be 7 hours or 6 hours or 12 hours? Turns out that there's some general frameworks that we can follow in order to answer these questions. As we move into this portion of the discussion, I want to highlight a very important reference that just came out, literally came out last week in the journal Endocrinology Reviews. And the title of this review is Time-Restricted Eating for the Prevention and Management of Metabolic Diseases. Although the data in this paper go well beyond metabolic diseases. This is a paper from Sachin Panda's lab. It's a very lengthy review with an enormous table that's beautifully organized that scripts out all the studies done in humans, well over 100 studies, looking at time-restricted feeding in athletes, men, women, children, diabetes, no diabetes, et cetera, with detailed references and description of the outcomes. I've spent a lot of time with this review, even though it just came out recently, and is a absolute goldmine resource